The Galactic Council's emergency beacon pulsed desperately through the void, a final cry for help that would likely go unanswered. Admiral Kane watched the tactical display with growing despair as the Vorthan Empire's massive fleet continued its relentless advance toward the last free worlds of the galaxy. "Sir, enemy forces are now 3 hours from the Centauri system," reported Lieutenant Vale, her voice barely steady. "Our remaining ships won't last another hour against those odds." The bridge of the Council flagship Unity fell silent except for the low hum of failing systems. Through the viewports, the assembled remnants of a dozen civilizations hung in space like broken toys. Barely 200 vessels against the Vorthan armada of over 3,000 warships. Commander Tech of the Altarian Republic turned from his console, his scaled features grim. "The evacuation transports are nearly loaded, but we need more time. At least 6 hours to get the civilian populations to safety." "Time we don't have," Kane replied, studying the enemy formation. The Vorthans had been methodically conquering the galaxy for 5 years, their superior technology and ruthless tactics overwhelming every defense. World after world had fallen, billions enslaved or worse. The Council had retreated again, and again, until this final stand became inevitable. "What about the distress call we sent to the Outer Rim?" asked Dr. Bell, the human representative whose small colony ship had joined their desperate alliance only months before. Kane shook his head. "No one's coming. The humans are too few and too far away. Even if they wanted to help, they're single. Colony couldn't make a difference." The tactical display flickered as sensor arrays detected the approaching Vorthan vanguard. Massive dreadnoughts bristling with weapons, their dark hulls scarred by countless victories. At their head flew the flagship Dominion, its commander Lord Vex having personally overseen the subjugation of 17 systems. "All ships, battle stations," Kane commanded. "We make our stand here. Whatever happens, we buy those transports every minute we can." The first exchange of fire lit up the darkness. Council ships, desperate and outnumbered, threw everything they had at the advancing enemy. Brilliant beams of energy and clouds of missiles filled the space between the fleets. But for every Vorthan ship that fell, 3 Council vessels died in return. Unity shuddered as enemy fire found its mark. Systems failed across the ship as Kane watched his fleet dissolve around him. The evacuation transports, still loading refugees in the distance, seemed impossibly vulnerable. "Sir?" Vale called out, her voice tight with fear. "Long-range sensors are detecting something. Large signature, coming in fast from Galactic Northwest." "Vorthan reinforcements?" Tech asked grimly. "No, sir. The signature doesn't match any known Vorthan ship class. It's heading straight for us." On the display, a new contact appeared, a single vessel moving at impossible speed. As it approached, details became clearer. The ship was massive, easily matching a Vorthan dreadnought in size, but its design was unlike anything in the galaxy. Angular and brutal, covered in weapon arrays that seemed almost primitive compared to the sleek energy weapons of other civilizations. "It's broadcasting on all frequencies," Vale reported. "The signal is coming from the human colony." Dr. Bell stepped forward, his face pale. "That's impossible. We only had research ships, nothing like that." The unknown vessel dropped out of hyperspace directly between the Council fleet and the Vorthan armada. Its hull bore no markings except for a simple designation, UES Retribution. A new voice crackled over the communications array, speaking in the human tongue, but somehow different, harder, more controlled. "This is Captain Stone of the United Earthship Retribution. We received your distress call." "United Earth?" Dr. Bell whispered. "But Earth was cut off. We thought—" "Dr. Bell, good to hear from you," Stone's voice continued. "We've been busy. All Council ships, move to minimum safe distance. We're about to show these Vorthans why you don't threaten human colonies. Lord Vex's flagship immediately opened fire on the newcomer, massive energy beams that had shattered countless worlds. The human ship didn't even attempt to dodge. The beams struck its hull and simply dispersed, absorbed by some unknown defensive system that then Retribution returned fire. The weapons that emerged from its hull weren't the refined energy beams common throughout the galaxy. Instead, streams of hypervelocity projectiles, each one accelerated to significant fractions of light speed, tore through space. When they struck Vorthan shields, the barriers that had protected the Empire's fleets for decades simply ceased to exist. The lead dreadnought vanished in a ball of expanding plasma. "What kind of weapons are those?" Tech breathed. "Kinetic kill vehicles," Dr. Bell said slowly, understanding dawning in his voice. "Humans always preferred projectile weapons. But these are beyond anything we ever imagined." Retribution began, moving through the Vorthan formation, like a shark among minnows. Its weapons fired in perfect sequence, each shot calculated to maximum effect. Vorthan ships that had seemed invincible moments before died by the dozens. Lord Vex's voice screamed across all frequencies. "Impossible. Nothing can penetrate our shields." "Your shields stop energy," Stone replied calmly. "These aren't energy weapons." The human ship continued its methodical destruction. But it wasn't just the weapons that made the difference. It was how the ship moved. Retribution seemed to anticipate every Vorthan tactic, always one step ahead, always in the perfect position. It was as if the ship could predict the future. "How are they doing this?" Kane asked. Dr. Bell was studying the tactical readings with growing amazement. "Their computer systems are processing information faster than anything we've seen. Look at those response times. It's like they're operating in slow motion compared to us." Within an hour, the mighty Vorthan armada was scattered wreckage. Lord Vex's flagship, damaged but still functional, began to retreat. But Retribution wasn't finished. "This is for every world you've conquered." Stone's voice carried across space as his ship's main gun, a weapon that ran the entire length of the vessel, began to charge. The shot, when it came, was visible across 3 star systems. Dominion and the remaining Vorthan ships simply ceased to exist, their atoms scattered to the cosmic wind dot in the aftermath, as rescue ships tended to the wounded and celebrations began across the fleet. Admiral Kane found himself in communication with Captain Stone. "We thought Earth was lost," Kane said. "Cut off, isolated." "We were," Stone replied. "For 3 years, we fought alone while you didn't even know we existed. The Vorthans tried to break us first, before moving on to the rest of the galaxy. They learned too late that humanity doesn't break. But one ship that you can see," Stone corrected. "Earth has been preparing for 5 years. We've built a fleet, Admiral. And we've learned to fight in ways the galaxy has never seen." Through the viewport, more ships began dropping out of hyperspace. Human vessels, each one a weapon of war crafted by a species that had turned desperation into determination. "The age of Vorthan expansion is over," Stone announced to all frequencies. "Any world they've taken, any people they've enslaved, we're coming for them all." Hope, which had seemed lost forever, blazed anew across the galaxy.